Now, Hamas is a militant Palestinian nationalist and Islamist movement in the West Bank and Gaza Strip that is dedicated to the establishment of an independent Islamic State in historical Palestine. Founded in 1987, Hamas opposed the secular approach of the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, and it rejected attempts to cede any part of Palestine and embraced the use of violence as a means to achieve its goals. And here's all you need to know. We're going to get into it one by one. Let's first talk about who founded Hamas. Hamas was founded by Sheikh Ahmad Yassin, a Palestinian cleric who became an activist in local branches of the Muslim Brotherhood after dedicating his early life to Islamic scholarship in Cairo. Then Yassin established Hamas as the Muslim Brotherhood's political arm in Gaza in December 1987, following the outbreak of the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation of the West Bank, Gaza and East Jerusalem. Now, 1988, let's come to this year next. Hamas published its charter calling for the destruction of Israel and the establishment of an Islamic society in historic Palestine. Hamas first employed suicide bombing in April 1993. This is as far back as it goes, 5 months before pro-leader Yasser Arafat and Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin signed the Oslo Accords. And the historic pact established limited self-government for parts of the West Bank and Gaza under a newly created entity called the Palestinian Authority. And that is where it all started from. Now, Hamas condemned the Oslo Accords, as well as the PLO's and Israel's recognition of each other. As per the Council on Foreign Relations, a think tank, Hamas has a host of leadership bodies that perform various political, military and social functions. General policy is set by an overarching consultative body, often called the Politburo, which operates in exile. Now, local committees manage grassroots issues in Gaza and the West Bank. Ismail Haniyeh, of course, this is a name that we've heard several times since October 7th as well. Currently, he serves as the political chief of Hamas, having replaced longtime leader Khalid Mishal in 2017. Now, here are some of the leaders of Hamas. Haniyeh has operated from Doha in Qatar since 2020, and reportedly because Egypt restricts his movement in and out of Gaza. Now, some senior Hamas figures reportedly operate out of the group's offices in Turkey as well. The day-to-day affairs in Gaza are overseen by Yahya Sinwar. Again, Yahya Sinwar is another name we've heard repeatedly since in the last 3 to 4 weeks as well. And he was previously heading Hamas military wing and served 22 years in an Israeli prison. Now, Marwan Issa and Mohammad Deif command Hamas military wing, the Al-Qassam Brigades. The Al-Qassam Brigades essentially responsible for the on-ground attack on Israel on the 7th of October. And Mohammad Deif, for the longest time, was considered as the mastermind behind that entire attack, which got Israel by surprise. Now, Israeli forces assassinated the militia's founder, Salah Shehadeh, in a 2002 airstrike. Israeli forces killed Yassin as well, Hamas founder, in 2004. Saleh al-Arori reportedly heads Hamas Lebanon branch. And we, of course, know what kind of battle is going on the northern front of Israel between Hezbollah and Israel. And, of course, Hamas has a wing there as well in Lebanon. Now, he also took over the group's West Bank leadership following internal elections that concluded in 2021. Now, Khalid Mishal, this is another name which has come to the fore, was chosen to lead the diaspora office. And Salameh Katawi was elected to manage the affairs of imprisoned Hamas members. Of course, we all know how important the prisoner exchange is proving to be at the moment, because that is what Hamas is using as a bargaining chip at the moment to let go of Israeli prisoners. As a designated terrorist entity by Israel, Hamas is cut off from official assistance that the United States and European Union provide to the PLO in the West Bank. Now, historically, Palestinian expatriates and private donors in the Persian Gulf provided much of the movement's funding. And in addition, some Islamic charities in the West have channeled money to Hamas-backed social service groups as well. Now, Hamas gets its backing from several nations, and of course, Iran is one nation whose name has come up several times for backing Hamas. Egypt began to allow some commercial goods to enter Gaza through its Salah al-Din border crossing in 2018, and as of 2021, Hamas reportedly collected upward of $12 million per month from taxes on Egyptian goods imported into Gaza. Now, we talk about Iran, which is one of Hamas' biggest benefactors, contributing funds, contributing weapons, and also offering training, which is, of course, being conducted by Iran's Revolutionary Corps. Turkey has been another stalwart backer of Hamas and a critic of Israel following President Erdogan's rise to power in 2002. Lastly, let's take a look at how Hamas governs Gaza. And that is a question which has come to several minds. Who is handling Gaza? Who controls Gaza? As of now, it is very much Hamas. And Hamas has been the de facto authority in Gaza since shortly after Israel withdrew from the territory in 2005. Now, the following year, Hamas won a majority of seats in the Palestinian Authority legislature and formed a government in the region in Gaza. Now, the outcome was unacceptable to Fatah and its Western backers, and the party ousted Hamas from power in the West Bank. Then in Gaza, and of course, these are the two regions which make up the Palestinian area, Hamas, Gaza and West Bank. In Gaza, we're talking about Hamas routed Fatah's militias in a week of fighting, and it resulted in a political rupture between the two Palestinian territories. Palestinians have not voted for a legislature since 2006, nor a president since 2008. And as Hamas took over the remnants of Palestinian Authority institutions in the Gaza Strip, it established a judiciary and put in place authoritarian institutions. So in theory, Hamas governs in accordance with the Sharia-based Palestinian Basic Law, but it has generally been more restrictive than the law requires. So of course, there are a lot of allegations against Hamas, but it still very much remains in control in Gaza, and Israel is not backing off. And right here on World DNA, we are tracking all the developments coming in from ground.